Okay, let's talk about this, man. So, earth-shattering, really crazy news yesterday coming out from the Hollywood trades. Seems like these two dudes right here, Sean Levy and Ryan Gosling, are going to be teaming up to attempt to do a new Star Wars thing. So, this broke yesterday in the Hollywood trades. I have the Hollywood Reporter article pulled up for us right here. Says Star Wars shocker, Ryan Gosling in talks to star in Sean Levy's movie. Exclusive. I'm just going to start saying exclusive instead of exclusive. If the deal makes, this would send the project into hyperdrive after 2 years of development and make it the next Star Wars movie to go into production. Okay, so I don't want to go over everything in this article. There are a couple of quotes that I want to go over here. But let's just let's break this down. Let's just give you as best we can what is actually happening here. And again, I think it's important to remember the Hollywood trades, when they get a scoop like this, it's usually dead on, 99% accuracy or something like this. So if you'll recall, the Hollywood trades scooped that the Russo brothers were returning to Marvel to do the next two Avengers movies. This was before it was officially announced. And I remember a lot of people being like, so is this confirmed? Is this not confirmed? It's like, guys, if the Hollywood trades are coming out and saying this, like, yeah, it's basically confirmed. Like, that's, they're putting it out there. The studio knows it's out there. The studio could get them to pull it. And usually the studio and the trades have a relationship. They're trying to gauge interest. They're trying to, like, set the table for big announcements, et cetera, et cetera. So, according to the Hollywood trades, Ryan Gosling is going to star in Sean Levy's Star Wars movie, a movie that's been in development for multiple years. And in the article, they mention that this is a standalone movie, but they also mention a new trilogy. So let's actually look at that exact quote here. So it says, it is unclear when Levy's project is set. I actually know when it's set, and I'll tell you in a second. Star Wars stories that have run the gamut of hundreds of years, detailing going in a galactic republic turned dictatorship turned rebellion. It's also unclear if this concerns the Jedi or their enemies, the Sith. I will explain what I've heard about that in a minute. It is, however, to be unconnected to the so-called Skywalker saga. The stories centered on well-established and beloved characters like Luke Skywalker and his father, Anakin. It is meant to be a standalone movie, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. Lucasfilm had no comment on any impending deal or projects. They do talk about another trilogy in here, do they not? I swear to God, when I read this thing last night, it indicated mentioning of a new trilogy. Maybe that was some fake news. Maybe that was just people on Twitter and whatnot. Interesting. Oh, you know what it was? It was an article from a very reputable source. I don't remember if it was Bespin or The Direct, but somebody else chimed in on that to explain that there would be set up for another trilogy. Okay. So, that's the official report. Standalone project. Not sure if it's connected to the Sith. What's going on here, okay? Now, before I get into tell you like what I've heard about this, one thing that's really interesting and undeniable here is that this is different. You know? So they have this guy, super high profile actor in Ryan Gosling, and you have Sean Levy, who's a super hot director right now after doing Deadpool and Wolverine. So just consider how different that is from the reporting and the announcements of Charmin Obed-Chinoy and Daisy Ridley Rey Skywalker. So this means that the reports that Daniel had said yesterday about Sean Levy's movie, likely accurate. I saw Jeff Snyder on Twitter talking about this a bit. He said he believes that the Sean Levy movie will film this year. And so this is the next big Star Wars thing. You've got Mando Grogu, you've got potentially Mangold thing happening, but this is the next big one. This is the one that's going to come out and essentially replace what was to be the Charmin Obed-Chinoy film. That is real, and that is what's happening. So, what I have heard about this movie and this move here makes it like even more confusing. This movie, apparently, according to the people I talked to, is still going to involve an older Daisy Ridley. An older Daisy Ridley that is essentially like a mentor figure to Ryan Gosling, who will be a new Jedi-like character from what I've heard. Okay? Now, that's weird, right? Like, that's weird because, I mean, it almost feels like putting Ryan Gosling as the lead and having Sean Levy as the director. I mean, doesn't that feel like a bit of a pivot? Doesn't it feel like the most valuable asset that Star Wars has, which was a quote from a Lucasfilm insider in another Hollywood Trade article, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago? Doesn't it kind of feel like that most valuable asset to the company is literally being hidden in the new Hollywood Trade announcement about the next Star Wars movie? That's kind of interesting. So is this a pivot? Is this testing the waters? Is this an attempt to generate buzz and excitement for this next potential Star Wars thing? Kind of interesting when you consider all of that. Now, the movie itself, we've heard a lot of rumors about this. I mean, you know, we cover this a lot, especially on these streams in the, Clips channel. We've known about the rumors for Sean Levy's Star Wars movie for some time. It was supposed to involve Rey. Jeff Snyder had reported this. I think Jeff Snyder even said at one point that Levy could end up doing like a trilogy, or that there was a trilogy of Rey things on the table. Right? And so it seems like that's real. So, 2 years of development, him writing this with the Adam Project guy, I find it really fascinating. He seemed to have an idea for how to take the character of Rey, do a time jump to when she is older, and do something with her and this new character that's like a Jedi she mentored, or perhaps a student of hers that fell to the dark side or something like that, right? So I guess as accurate as I can say, like, what is the news? According to the Hollywood Trades, this is a standalone movie, and it has Gosling as the lead. Levy's been developing it for 2 years, but according to what I have heard, it is still an older Rey mentor movie, and it's going to take place in the time period after the sequel trilogy. So this will be the first movie, and I think maybe the first piece of content, unless I'm mistaken. This is the first movie after the sequel trilogy that's going to give us an actual look at what Star Wars looks like after the fall of Palpatine, times 2 or whatever. So that's as best as I can describe it, the actual news. Would love to know what you guys think about that. I have several more things to say about this because I think it's weird. I'm going to be honest with you. I have a lot of critiques of this, and I do think it's kind of an example of Star Wars continuing to flail a little bit. I'll try to be positive about how it could work out well if it is executed correctly, but that is the news. Ryan Gosling starring in a new Star Wars movie. According to people I've talked to, this will be older Rey. He will be a Jedi that's being mentored by Rey, and it's likely the next Star Wars movie. So you'll see Mando Grogu. If this movie shoots this year, you'll see Mando Grogu in 2026. You'll see this movie either late 2026 or in 2027. So let's just start there. What are your thoughts on the whole, like just the basic, like what the hell this is? Like, what do you think about this?